Hello, hello, hello. Okay, today's Friday, December 12th. Day 12 of my 31-day coaching that I told you guys I was going to do every single day, just didn't promise what time I was going to do it. So I had a great day today. I went to Pflugerville to do a podcast, a live podcast with my friend Pastor Pete. He's just wonderful human. And to talk about business and faith and all of it. It's really fun. I love doing podcasts. If you guys have a good podcast you want me to do, or if you're out there and you've got one and it's something that aligns with my core beliefs and values, I'm always happy to jump on as long as it aligns. So anyways, that was great. Today's Friday. I love Fridays. Why? I don't know. It's a mental thing. I've kicked the week's butt. Okay. So today I want to talk about, because this is a question I get a lot of times. Okay. And guys, you know why I'm doing this. I'm doing it for my team, almost 900 agents that can't always get on trainings. I thought I'm going to give you guys the push you need for the beginning to start to next year. And here's a question I get a lot from clients, a lot. When a deal comes in or I'm working a deal on the other side and I say to my client, oh, that's a friend of mine. And I had a client, meaning the other agent. And I had a client the other day ask me, is that going to be a problem? Are you going to be able to negotiate hard because it's your client? Because it's your friend, and I always listen to when my clients say things. And I took pause for a second and I said, I'll negotiate just as hard as if I didn't know the person. Knowing the person actually helps get the deal done. And so I make it a goal of mine to get to know the best agents in my market. And I don't hang out with all of them all the time just because there's just not enough hours in a day. But I know the ones that are really good operators. They're good actors. They do things the right way. They've got high integrity. And so I feel super lucky when I get to do a deal with a friend. Now, let me tell you what to do when you're in that situation, because the other thing is, like, in our business, your reputation is everything. And if you're known as an agent who is hard to work with, who's a deal breaker instead of a deal maker, okay, then people don't want to present your deals. They will tell their sellers, they'll say, oh, I know that Lisa Copeland, she's a waste of breath. All she's going to do is come in here and beat us up. All she's going to do is this or do that, right? Like, you just don't want to have that reputation, agent friends. And so I work really hard to do the right thing, but my fiduciary responsibility lies with my client, as does theirs. Okay. And so how to be friendly, be a friendly competitor, but still win with integrity. That's what we're going to talk about today. Our job as a real estate agent is to bring the buyer and the seller into mutual agreement. That's it. Bring the buyer and the seller into mutual agreement. When we have done that, we have done our jobs. Well, typically there's one agent on one side and one agent on the other side. And we cannot bring our buyers and our sellers into mutual agreement if we cannot agree ourselves. Now, have I gotten hot at an agent? Yes, for sure. I can remember a couple of them. Has an agent got hot at me because I'm holding my ground? For sure. But it's not the way I want to operate on every deal. Otherwise, I would hate my job. There's just a lot of really stellar real estate professionals in my market that I have mad respect for. When I see that they're winning on social media, I'll give them a heart. I'll tell them congratulations, good job. They're my competitor, but I have mad respect for them. So knowing all of that, when I do a deal with them, I'm going to treat them, and you should treat your competitors with the same respect that you would want to be treated. And you would be shocked how many more deals get done. You would be shocked. Think of the competition like a football game. You hit hard between the lines and you shake hands after the whistle. You don't win by cheating. You win by preparation, discipline, and execution. All right. So number one, you want to compete on skill, not character assassination. Like, you're never going to see me speak poorly about another agent, ever. When I'm in on a listing presentation and they'll say, I'm talking to Betty Sue, and I'll always say, you know what? Betty Sue's a good agent, but I'm better, and here's why. So even if I don't know Betty Sue, I'm never going to disparage Betty Sue and or any other agent. It's just bad. It's just so bad. It's bad for your brand. It's bad for you. It's bad juju. It's bad. It's just bad, right? So you want to compete on character. And number two, you want to tell the truth even when it costs you. And when you're in on big deals, typically, they ask you, what have you sold before in this price point? What have you sold before in my neighborhood? What have you sold before here? What have you, it's a lot, right? When we go out for a listing appointment, it's a job interview. And don't think I don't go in there just like I'm interviewing, because I'm interviewing for a really big job with a really big paycheck. So I go in there with my best. I'm dressed the best. I'm not saying better than the other agent. I'm saying, but I go in with, dressed to the nines, all of my market data, all of my data, everything I've done, my team has done, the accolades, the awards, the days, our average days on market, what our marketing plan is, right? So I can do that, but I'm not ever going to BS. So like if somebody says, like if I get called out into a new neighborhood on a $3 million listing and they say, what have you sold in here at this price point? And if I had not, I would say, I have not sold anything here at $3 million, but let me show you what else I've sold in the market at $3 million, right? Like, you have to go in it with full integrity, because people typically don't care what you've sold in their neighborhood. Sometimes they do, but usually they just want to know that you know how to handle a luxury transaction. So just so you know that, right? So go in, tell the truth, even if it costs you, because it might cost you a deal by you saying, I've never done this before. I've never been here before. I've never hit this level of price point before. It could cost you the deal, but what it won't cost you is your integrity. Win without gloating, lose without excuses. Okay. There have been times I've gone up against my friendly competitor friends and I've gotten a deal. There have been times I've gone up against my friendly competitor friends and I didn't get the deal. But the thing I don't do is gloat if that happens. I don't call them and go, hey, ha, 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 I got the deal and you didn't, like ever. And then I have to look at myself. Remember, I've talked a lot about the last few days is just not lying to yourself. So internally, I don't make excuses. I don't make excuses about why I don't get something. I really break it down. Okay, what could I have done differently? And I have even called sellers before and said, hey, thank you for considering me. What, just for my own knowledge, what could I have done differently? Okay, they'll tell you. So don't lie to yourself. Protect the deal and the relationship. So when we talk about protecting the relationship, we have a lot of relationships to protect. Okay, my agents out there, we need to protect the relationship with our client, first and foremost, because that's who's paying us. That's where our fiduciary responsibility lies. We need to protect our relationships with the other agents that are in our community. That's super important, because if you ever want to get a tough deal done, if you ever are in a multi-offer situation like we were back in 2021 and 2022, I got deals done. I got my deals done when there was 22 offers. I can think of twice. And the listing agent called me and she said, I picked yours, Lisa, because I know you and you are no BS. And I told my seller, I don't know this other agent, but I know her. And I know that she will drag this thing to the finish line, pick this deal. Okay. So if you don't have your relationship with your competitors, and if they don't respect you, or they think there's something like about you, or you don't do what you say you're going to do, or you get sketchy on a deal halfway through, or you're trying to bust the deal, whatever, you will pay the price somewhere down the road. And when this market gets back to where it used to be, and I really believe it will in 2026, people are going to remember. They're going to remember how you treated them. I'm talking about our competitors. I'm talking about listing agents. I'm talking about buyer's agents. I'm talking about people that are in our sphere when it comes to negotiation. They're going to remember. And if I do something when times are tough, like right now, when times are good, they're going to go, oh yeah, Lisa Copeland, I'm going to work really hard to get this other deal done, because agents do have sway over their clients and getting deals done. They just do. My clients listen to me. And if I know going into a deal that I'm going to have a fight with an agent, like literally that, like I've done with deal with this person before, they're very difficult to deal with. I still have to work the deal, but I do communicate that to my clients. Like, hey, I've worked with Mary Sue before. She's a nightmare, absolute nightmare. So be prepared. We got a fight on our hands. Okay. And when that happens, it changes the dynamic of the whole deal. Okay. It just does. So don't be that person. Just don't be that person. Let results speak louder than ego. The most respected competitors don't chase applause. They build outcomes. Okay. The best agents I know are not the ones that, that are out there, I mean, we all have to tout what we sell. We just do. That's we're in business. Like, we have to be top of mind when we sell something. I'm going to tell you, we just sold a house. We sold it in 4 days. We did this, but what you don't want to do, is to drag down the competition in anything that you're doing, right? Like, I'm better than Mary Sue in my market. Mary Sue stinks and I'm the best. Like, you can't do that. Right? This is, how to have friendly competition with fierce integrity and relentless results. My phone is just going crazy today. So 3 simple takeaways. All right. Number 1, you want to compete fiercely on performance, never on gossip. Can I just tell you, in real estate, there are more gossip pools. You will never see me ever get into these group real estate things. There's all kinds of groups that you can join and talk, and they all just, blah, 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 blah. I can't. I just don't. I don't want to be in gossip. I don't want to be in any of it. I want to run my own race. I want to play my own game. I want all of you to do that too. We got plenty to be proud of. We've got $1 billion team again in 2025. We did it in 2023, 2024, and now 2025. So this is our third Billy. Okay. Our third year to do it, to break the $1 billion mark. So we don't need to get down. Some of these groups are atrocious, guys. They're just atrocious. I mean, the things they talk about, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? If I ever saw any of our agents in there, I would have a heart attack. It's so bad. Okay. And so when you want to elevate your brand and you want to elevate your business, you don't get down in the mud. You just don't. You stay above the fray. You stay full of integrity when it comes to our competitors, with fellow agents that we're doing business with, that we're negotiating with. We stand strong for our clients. We keep our reputation. Excuse me. We keep our reputation strong with, gosh, my eyes, I got stuff in my eyes. We keep our reputation strong with our communities, meaning fellow agents, fellow title company, other title companies, other mortgage companies, like all of it. I own 2 mortgage companies, but I'm still nice when somebody from another mortgage company calls me. You just got to be nice but fierce, if that makes sense. Okay. Tell the truth, even when it costs you in the moment, and it could cost you in the moment. You may not have the resume yet to do the deal that's been put in front of you. So you bring in someone else to help you. You tell the truth. You got to be careful, because one mishap in today's world of social media, you're toast. And you protect relationships like assets. They compound over time. And like I said, I am really grateful for a lot of different agents over the years, from Keller Williams, from Remax, from Sotheby's. Like they become really good friends, good competitors, good allies, good people for me to call and say, hey, I've got this listing and I'm stuck. What would you do? Da, 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 da. Or, hey, will you come out and look at this listing? I do that all the time. Okay, I got a good one. Will you come out and just give me some feedback? And they will do it. Why? Because I will do it when they call me. All right. I don't typically just go look at houses to look at them. I don't have time to do that. But when a good ally, good competitor of mine calls me and says, I have a new listing, I really want you to put your eyes on it. I want you to tell me what you think about the pricing, what you think about the staging, what you think about the area. What do you think about days on market? Like, what is your feedback? You know, or Lisa, hey, do you have any clients for this? Because I know that you work at this price point. So they won't make those phone calls if they think you're an ass or you're somebody who is not a deal maker, but you are a deal breaker. So anyways, it's all critical, guys and gals, to you being successful in the marketplace with fellow realtors, with title companies. You know, I just had a mortgage company, not one of mine, a mortgage company refer me to a builder, which is really nice. And this person knows all of my ties and my tentacles in the mortgage business that I have. And she referred me a really nice deal. Why? Because she knew that I was the best one for the job. But that doesn't happen if you're not a nice person to deal with, or if you're not somebody that's respected, or that people don't understand what you do. Okay. And so for everybody out there who's on my team and you're watching this right now, and you know, and this is, I think, is good advice for people that are in any kind of business. Like, all of you have competitors. Like, if you're a Chevy dealer, you want to be nice to the guy down at Toyota or the girl down at Toyota, because you never know. All right. You never know, especially the car business, when you might be working there. So there's that, right? The Chevy store gets slow. You might want to go to the Toyota store and go to work. So it just does you well to treat people well and to not put your reputation on the line for just one deal. And I'm not saying like you get in with the other agent and there's any collusion, because there's not. I'm working a deal right now with a really good friend of mine. And she's like, nope. We just got off the phone a few minutes ago. I'm like, all right, I'll go back. I'll let you know where we're at, you know, right? So we toe that line, toe the line, talking about that. And then, but I know I could call her tomorrow and go, hey, you want to grab a glass of wine? She'd be like, of course, I want to catch up. So that's how you want to learn how to be known within your industry, as someone who's tough as nails and is fierce and is loyal to their clients, but somebody that's always looking, that is a solution-based agent, a solution-based person who is of the mindset that we have one job and one job only, and that is to bring buyers and sellers into mutual agreement. All right, guys, with that being said, I can beat that horse forever, but I think you've got the gist. Right? Our competitors are just as important to build a community with as our clients. All right. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. You know, I'll see you tomorrow. Not sure what time yet, but I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow. Thanks always for tuning in and supporting me. Bye, everybody.